Here's something you truly must know about trademarks on Amazon. And today with us, David Miller. He's a lawyer. He represents Amazon sellers, and he has something interesting to share with us about trademarks today. David, man, please.
If you obtain a trademark registration, it doesn't mean that it's over, right? It doesn't mean that you own everything, you can enforce it without doing anything about it. You still need to go out and protect it, right? So let's say Nike, for example, they own the Nike word mark, they own the Nike swoosh logo. If someone else is offering products that may infringe on it, say they're using the word Nike even though they're not selling Nike products, Nike still has to go after them. They still have to try and enforce it. That doesn't always mean a lawsuit is happening, but they do have to attempt to enforce it. Sometimes it also happens is someone else will try and register a very similar mark, which you also
Mm.
have to be aware of, right? That's where oppositions and cancellations come into play. So the moral of the story is if you register a trademark, again, that's not the end of it. You have to always be on the lookout to see that if someone might be infringing, that you go out there and protect it yourself because no one's going to do it for you.
And in this case, for example, we see a similar listing getting on the platform, literally, doing the same box maybe or something like that. What do we do then? Do we contact that seller? Can we do it through your firm or should we talk to Amazon first? What do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, you could do any of the above. Generally, what's best is a cease and desist letter to the
Mm.
seller. I
Hmm.
think in general, it's better when it comes from an attorney, but it's not required. And then usually give them maybe a few days to actually, to remove themselves from the listing. And then if they don't willingly comply, and it's an obvious case of infringement, then sometimes you don't have a choice but to file reports of IP infringement to get Amazon to remove the listings.
By the way, how do we send them this cease and desist letter? Do we have their
Yeah.
email? Should we find like is it through Amazon itself?
So there's a number of ways to do it. Generally, I think the best way is when you actually mail the letter. So
Wow.
Amazon seller information is public nowadays. It didn't used to be, right? So you can find their address and you
Yeah.
can mail it to the address that Amazon has on
Mm.
file.
Interesting.
You also can usually find information about them through the USPTO, right? United States Patent and Trademark Office. If they registered for their own trademark at some point, or at least
Hmm.
filed it for an application, they usually either have emails on there, addresses. I've seen phone numbers. So usually contacting them or finding the information to contact them is not overly difficult.
Yeah, they might have a website.
Right.
But
Exactly.
but in case they don't, let's say maybe just such a case, maybe it's a seller that's, they just don't. We cannot find anything. What do we, if have you ever even had that case? We cannot
No,
find.
I've no, I've never seen that. I mean, another option is you could hire cyber investigators. I've seen there's some law
Well,
firms that do that. Some sellers do it where you're not usually as anonymous as you think you are, right?
ooh.
Even yeah, even when you believe you are. So there's paper trails with a lot of these kinds of things. I've even seen some sellers message directly through Amazon's portal. Not generally advisable, but I've seen sellers do that as well.
Mhm. Thanks for sharing, David. I'm going to have your contacts in the description in case sellers need to contact you to help them with such issues, your website and the socials and a playlist with all our videos, over 50 videos here on YouTube with David. So, with all sorts of things connected to the legal side of Amazon. Thank you, David. Have a great day.
Thank you.